It's a wonderful day. Today is 12/8/2010, 5:58 Pacific Standard Time. This is the SMF MMT pre-market update as to how the trading day will work, as we always do every day. And we've already met and talked about various different subjects. Now we're going to be live and we're going to record for the SMF MMTs. The opening is I've got an OREX company that got an approval, and you got a $6.21 gap. That's the leader. Following Google, we got a 3.38 ratio gap, 2.42 AIG right here. Well, it's XG. Thank God the X is in the middle. It's not AIG. All right, so you got VVUS 1.57, Apple's 1.42 ratio gap. What has happened in the last, let's say, hour and a half, the futures market has gradually drifted upward, okay, where when the amount of negative futures was down, it was somewhere, you know, the last time I looked was like, I think sometimes it was like maybe 32 handles or something like that, 32 points. And, you know, since then, the S&P has regained that $2.40, and the Nasdaq is plus 6.5. So we've had a little bit of another increased gap. And yesterday morning, we talked about how that slide that bid bar on these ratio gaps, and that the leaders were going to sell off, and they took a good haircut, especially with all the good news. FCX is one. There it is. Okay, this one will bounce off of that bottom, made a 52-week high, and all the names sold off nicely. So you had a series of 52-week highs. Here is the bull, TQQQ, that one there. Boy, did that have a nice 52-week high yesterday, and a short right down, MMTs. So yesterday it was all of what we said as far as the trade management plan was that they would slide that bid, and part of that Lehman Brothers 1230 resistance, Lehman, that's, remember good old Lehman Brothers? Yeah, they were around a long time. And when they went down, the S&P, when it broke below 1230, that's when the S&P never ever stopped going down again until it finally got into February, late February, 1st of March of 09. But here, let's talk about how to, we're going to take a look and see that if they slide half of that bid, you move in right away. The other thing is that if it's going to be a strong market in these names, you will pull back, but the pullback will be diminished in diminishing price action. It sets up at your teeny action line, which is in your SMF platform. So when it sets up at that teeny action line, that price action line, and a market is made there, as soon as that pops, that SMF buy action, bam, you're in. And what we're going to take a look for is both directional movement of momentum. So am I breaking higher in the teeny expansion, or is it rolling over and teeny contraction? And that means that it's going deeper into the negative teeny range in your platform. So we're going to establish the key Pacific price action points that are relevant to breakouts and breakdowns. We're going to be looking at various different instruments and various different MMTs. We'll be able to monitor in their SMF platform if I'm below 45 in the IR, and my bid and ask trend ratios in your platform, if they're at a certain level, meaning that they're not breaking higher, they go up, but then they go back down, that means that every move up, you would be selling short the move, just as you were doing yesterday. So this is the gap open up on the Nasdaq, and it's pre-market. One of the key Pacific things on these gaps today, once again, is that the price action pulls back, but when it pulls back in a diminishing price action and then it bounces, that means there's lots of strength. So it pulls back and it bounces, and it pulls back and it bounces. Yesterday, that rolled right up, to roll right over. So you get a 369 move. They were good for little short-term trades. Now, MMTs, you're a market maker. So the spreads were very shallow, and then stocks rolled over. Slide the bid yesterday was the trade. So what I see it as, some of the winners that people had throughout 2010 or recently have made a move to the highs yesterday, they started selling some of the winners, as they always do. So there was a little bit of a rebalancing in that tape yesterday. There was some headline events as well. So we're going to be loaded with headline events today, and basically it's all about the price action momentum. Slide the bid at half the bar, walk the dog at half bar up, and that ratios, if you're long going half the bar on the breakout, ratio, bid and ask ratio must be breaking higher and really break out higher. And when the ratio stops at resistance, then the MMT is moving in for the short side and the buy side at support, both in the actual SMF platform, the brain. And if you've never seen the brain before, all MMTs use it, well, then go on the home page of the website, you'll find it. Anyways, so this is what we're going to be monitoring today. And as they raised the futures up yesterday, they walked the futures up and they slid that bid right away. And then the whole day was weak on the short side. As we said, they were taking profits. They were doing exactly that. Basically, right now, MMTs, price action, the teeny, the ratio line, the breakouts go. They trade above 75 in the brain. In that reading, that's what we're going to be looking for. That's how we're going to take the directional movement in either price direction.